Hi guys, welcome back to fitandflexy.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Today we're going to be going over forward folds and everything that kind of goes back behind them. And so I'm not going to go over every single fold in yoga because there are, countless amounts. So we're going to go over just how you can get into your folds a little bit deeper. And just the parts of your body you should be tuning into to come down into any fold that you do in your practice. So the thing with forward folds is that people think that they have to touch their toes and they have to get that perfect flat fold in the pose. And that's not the case. The case is to just really kind of tune into our lower back, our hamstrings. Where are we feeling? Are we, actually effectively coming down with that flat back? So I'm just going to go over our traditional forward folds and a couple of our seated folds. Just to let you guys know, this is not a sequence video. If you want to go through a sequence, go ahead and scroll through my videos. I have a few down here on fitandflexy.com. This is just going to go over how you can properly do your folds and really get an effective stretch out of the position. We're going to go ahead and practice our just traditional forward fold. So go ahead and come onto your mat. We're going to go into our standing position. And so if you have blocks with you, go ahead and grab them. If you don't have blocks, you can also use books. So the point of the blocks is to really just kind of help us lengthen through our spine. So I want you to think about a strength from your belly button towards the ground or your toes anytime we come into a fold, because this is really going to help us get our lower back down. Now if that's really difficult for you, have a nice bend in those knees and it'll really help you bring that lower back down. So whatever works for you, bring the hands forward on the blocks. It's going to help us kind of lengthen through our spine, coming down one vertebra at a time. Slowly relax your head and neck. Maybe shake the head side to side. So the point here is just kind of get us nice and long. You can see I have a nice long straight spine here. I'm still trying to focus on getting that belly button down to get that lower back down as best I can. And I'm going to get a lot deeper into my hamstrings and my calves here. Kind of roll up and slowly bring the belly button down. So bring your sternum down and all the way through the chest, head, neck, and shoulders. And then once you're ready to release, you can go ahead and release. You can hold those elbows. And now if this is really tight and uncomfortable, always have a nice bend in those knees. This is going to help you get deeper into that forward fold and really, get the best out of your fold. Perfect. So we're going to come to our wide angle fold next. So wide angle fold is just legs nice and wide. And so I'm just going to do this sideways for you guys. I'll kind of do it staggered so you can see it a little bit better. And so wide angle fold, I honestly have to go through this pose every time I practice because it just feels so good. And so we're going to do the same thing here. You can have the blocks forward and we're kind of sinking the hips back and I'm bringing my belly button down. Now I'm not sinking my hips forward. My hips are right aligned in the same plane as my ankles. And so bringing down my chest, bringing down my belly button. And this is also going to help us kind of tune into our chest as well and open up that heart. So taking some deep breaths. And the whole deep breath in, lengthen, and then exhale, sink. This is really going to help you kind of tune into that, lengthened spine coming down into that flat back, into that forward fold, nice flat forward fold. And so once you are ready, we're going to go ahead and just relax. I want you to bring your hands to the backs of your heels. This will help you get a lot deeper into your folds as well. So have a nice long spine. We're going to take a deep breath in. I want you to sink the hips back. And then we're going to exhale, lift the hips up, and I want you to start to fold into it. Inhale back. And then exhale out. Inhale back. And exhale out. Now this is kind of letting us tune into that torso, the relationship between our torso and our hips, and also our glutes, also helping us just get a little bit lower into that, deeper into that lower back. So anytime I do a seated forward fold, a lot of people think that the goal is to reach their toes, and so that's what causes a rounded back, and we're not actually getting into the hamstrings and the hips here. Now, if this is your flexibility point with the rounded back, go ahead and place a block or you can place a pillow underneath your glutes. And so having something underneath our sitting bone can really help us kind of sit nice and tall for first and then start to hip hinge forward. Now I'm just going to show the example without the block. It's the same exact idea. I want you to have your hands on your hips and think about that hip hinge forward. And that's all you have to really think about. Hip hinge forward. Once you build that awareness in your hips, the hip hinging, not only does this benefit you in your practice, but it also benefits you in weightlifting, such as deadlifts, squats, anything that requires hip and lower back mobility and flexibility. So we're going to go ahead and take the arms up. This is what I do in most of the classes that I teach when we're doing a seated forward fold. So we're going to take a deep breath in, lengthen, and that means lifting through each vertebrae. Deep breath in, and when you exhale, start to reach forward, release down. And then inhale up. When we're thinking about that hip hinge, we're thinking about that strength from our belly button to our toes. And inhale up. And exhale down. Now wherever you are, if you are able to touch your toes, maybe you're right here, just think about walking those fingertips a little bit forward. I also want you to think about bringing that belly button down, start moving down that flat back as best we can. You're going to get a lot deeper into those hips and hamstrings. So I only showed those few forward folds because a lot of our folds are pretty much the same. We want to really just think about coming down with a lengthened spine, nice flat back, and you also just want to think about getting that lower back down so we can get deeper into those hamstrings, glutes, and hips. Having open hips and hamstrings in weightlifting can really help us get deeper into our lifts, which allows us to recruit more muscle fibers, meaning more gains, more strength. So both of these practices are completely married in my life, so they're both perfect for each other. Forward folds are an incredibly great way to just, start gaining some flexibility, start your practice. It's a really great stepping stone. And once you kind of build that awareness with your forward folds, that awareness transfers over into so many other things that we do, such as weightlifting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I can't wait to see you guys back here. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you guys have an incredible day. Go ahead and scroll through all my videos for some more access to yoga and weightlifting. I hope you guys have a great day, and I can't wait to see you guys back here at fitandflexy.com.